And we are back with the start of a new state-only challenge or possible states-only challenge voted on by you all. We had just finished the Central Plains states-only challenge, which included Colorado, Kansas, and Oklahoma. And it was an interesting one for sure. We ended up failing that one. You could see it in the failed column down below. But they did make it to the Super Bowl Season 3. Unfortunately, they lost in said Super Bowl and did not make it back in either Season 4 or Season 5. But the team was very interesting because the offense was always highly rated, around an 88, 87. The defense was below an 80 for a majority of that whole series, though it was the defense that played a lot better compared to the offense. So we're going to see what happens today. You guys got to vote as to who we would take over, and your options were as follows. The Southeast, which includes Utah, Arizona, New Mexico, and Nevada. The 4 states, and Hawaii. Hawaii also included. It's not technically the Southwest, but we're gonna throw it in with them. The other option was either Michigan or Tennessee and Kentucky, and the winner by a small margin was the Southeast. So that will be our new state-only challenge, and we had 2 teams that we could have used, but I've picked my one, and that is the Arizona Cardinals. We could have gone with the Las Vegas Raiders in Nevada, but I like the Cardinals uniforms a whole lot more, and considering the only thing we're really using of these actual teams are their stadium and their uniforms, that's what we're rocking with. So we will be using the Arizona Cardinals. And our head coach is going to be Terrell Suggs. Played at Arizona State University, so eligible here for this channel. Really enjoyed watching him play, and hopefully he's going to bring a pretty aggressive style of defense. Some blitzing, and hopefully a whole lot of those sacks and turnovers. If you're new to this series, it's a fantasy draft. Again, only drafting players from the available schools in Arizona, New Mexico, Nevada, Utah, and Hawaii. Gonna miss those occasionally for sure. We're just gonna call it the Southwest Challenge here. So again, those are the only schools we can draft from Fantasy Draft to get us underway, and we're only gonna go through the first 5 picks together, and then I'm gonna fill out the roster, and we're gonna jump into a little bit of some game action. So without further ado, it's draft time. And of course, draft time means it's time to pull up the spinny wheel here to see what school we have to draft from first. So on this wheel, we're gonna have the name of every single available FBS school, not FCS, strictly FBS, though I wanna say one of the New Mexico teams doesn't actually have any players in the NFL, so hopefully doesn't land on that one, but it's time to get it spinning. And it's going to end up being, as I look over to my other screen, still spinning, Utah. It was very close there, either between Utah or Utah State, but it will be Utah. And the good thing about Utah is they actually have quite a few players in the NFL, so this is going to make the first few selections here a little bit easier compared to some of the others that we've had where they're very few and typically not very highly rated. Now, unfortunately, because we have Utah, we're going to be missing out on some of my favorite players. They're going to be top on the board. At BYU, we could have drafted Fred Warner. We'll see if maybe there's a possibility that we could trade for him later on, because that would be fantastic. Another option a little bit further down the line is still at linebacker, and that would have been if we were at Utah State in Bobby Wags. That would have been a really fantastic duo at the linebacker spot. Probably would have had to run some 3-4 with it, but unfortunately, we don't have that opportunity. And quick side note, we're just gonna have to excuse some weird lighting in this one because my light keeps falling and refuses to stay where it's supposed to be. So in sake of getting this video out when we need to, we're going to continue on. Now, the highest rated Utah player, at least the only Utah player in the top 7 for their position, is actually at kicker in Matt Gay. I don't think we're taking a kicker this high, so we need to look elsewhere. When it comes to quarterback, the top option for us, at least currently, is Tyler Huntley, who is 68 overall. Not my preferred candidate to fill this spot. There are other quarterbacks that are higher up, though we still have to draft everyone from Utah first, at least it's available before we could go to other schools. So guys like Zach Wilson, who's a higher rated player, not going to be able to go after him. Jordan Love out of Utah State, also not going to be able to go after him. But someone we could go after at free safety, we do have Marcus Williams, who's an 87 overall. He's also 26 years old, so he could be a great candidate for our first selection. Plus, the ratings are pretty good. At corner, there is Jalen Johnson, 85 overall. Another young player, 24 years old with that star dev. I think so was the other guy. And the ratings here also look really good. So we might have some good secondary guys to go after. If we want to go after offensive linemen, top guy is probably going to be Garrett Bowles, 83 overall, though he is 31. And we went after offensive linemen early in the previous one, and we ended up not even completing that challenge, and we lost some of our offensive linemen throughout that series because we drafted older guys. And then going back over to safety, there is Julian Blackmon, this time at strong safety, 25 years old, another star. Not a superstar, but he has some intriguing ratings. For a 77, I honestly expected a little bit better, but does have some pretty good awareness. So what it seems like we need to do here early on is really build a strong secondary. And I feel like the first one we need to go after is going to be Marcus Williams, then maybe the corner, then over to Blackmon. So our first selection is going to be Marcus Williams, bringing in a good safety that hopefully can spread across the field and make some big plays for us, forcing those turnovers. And then as planned, luckily has not gone. There is Jalen Johnson, though. If I'm not mistaken, Weber State is an available school for us. And I would be correct. Weber State, it is in Ogden, Utah, that also has a really good burrito place, or just Mexican food place. I want to say it was called Rancheritos. Drove through there one time. Delicious. If you're from that area, go eat it. Fantastic. So we also have Taron Johnson that we could also pick up. We could probably have ourselves a pretty good secondary here if we fill up with our first couple selections. Not going to go with him yet. I do want to go with the other player. That, of course, being Jalen Johnson. We will select him, and we might just go right on back to the Weber State talent as well. And luckily for us, he is actually still there. So we will pick up Taron Johnson. So that is 3 secondary players with our first 3 selections. With the fourth, we are going to go and pick up Bowles. I want to make sure we have the top offensive lineman we could possibly select here, and he's a very well-balanced lineman that should keep that overall for at least a couple more seasons. So we'll end up picking up Bowles, leaving us with one last selection. And with said selection, we're going to finish off the starting set of defensive backs, going after Julian Blackmon. Again, he's one of the highest rated. He's one of the last few remaining starters from Utah. So let's bring in him. And that is all 5 of our selections we're going to do together. I'm going to fill out the roster, still sticking with the Utah first mindset. And then we'll show you the roster. We'll show you what the draft class looks like for us at the first season. And then jump into our first game. Now let's meet that final roster. Topped off with 287 overalls, and they were our top 2 selections. In fact, most of them up here were our top selections, and I realized after the fact, and I'd just been mentioning, we have to draft from Utah first. I did draft Taron Johnson, obviously out of Weber State. Now, that was in Utah, so you let me know what we need to do with Taron Johnson. Do we need to release him? Because I will do that if you think we do need to. But for now, let's meet the roster as is. Our starting quarterback is Tyler Huntley. Backing up, we have Nick Foles, who also has that mentor tag. At the running back spot, Zach Moss, followed by Eno Benjamin. Darwin Thompson, have to have him on this squad. He was a high school teammate of mine. And Gary Brightwell. As for fullback, we don't have one. I don't think we're really going to use one. At receiver, the top 2 I'm fine with, though we are fairly thin at this spot. Tim Patrick and Romeo Dobbs. The amount of times in the past I think I called in Doobs, I don't know. Now he's on the team, and I'm going to get it correct from here on out. We also have N'Keal Harry, Dax Milne, I believe is how it's pronounced, Devin Tompkins, and Frank Darby. At tight end, we do have the rookie in Dalton Kincaid, and hopefully he helps fill out that receiving group because it is a little bit thin. Behind him, we do have Cole Turner and Curtis Hodges. As for the left tackle, going to be Garrett Bowles. We also have Kellen Deich. Again, best guess. At left guard, we have Brady Christensen. Behind him, Sua Opeta. Again, doing my best to guess on these. Il Manning. Maybe that's how that first name is. At center, we have Tyler Larson. Right guard, Braden Daniels. And right tackle is going to be Blake Freeland. So the offensive line is not very highly rated at all, and could very well be the first group that we need to make some trades for if there's some available. As for the defensive line, also again, pretty light. Lawrence Guy Sr., 33 years old, maybe will be around for one more year. Behind him, we do have Renell Wren. At right end, we do have Chris Tonga. Behind him, Roy Lopez, though, is injured, will probably be out for this first game, then we'll come back. At DT, Leaky Fotu. And then John, I'm not going to say it because YouTube might not like it, so we're just not going to say it. We have John. As for the outside backers, we are running a 3-4. Gonna have Mohamed Diabadi? Again, you guys are gonna have to let me know. I will also do some Googling. He is a rookie. We moved him from an inside linebacker spot to an outside linebacker spot because he has some finesse rush. Behind him, Tipa Gaile, maybe? And then behind him, Pita Taumopenu. Again, I'm doing my best here. Bradley Ane, I'm assuming at middle linebacker. Devin Lloyd, a second-year linebacker. Behind him, Cody Barton. Then Nick Vigil, Demetrius Flanning-Fowles, and Christian Sam line out the inside backer group. Over on the right-hand side, Malik Reed, Harvey Lange, and then Francis Bernard. As for the corners, we have a good top two, then it drops off pretty steeply. Jalen Johnson and Taron Johnson. So the Johnsons on the outside. Then we might play around a little bit. I would like to get Clark Phillips III out there as much as possible as he is a rookie, but he would be lined up for a slot position right now, and he doesn't have the best tackling. It's a 40. Though we could put Nevin Lawson there. He's just on the older side, 32. Behind those two, we do also have Chase Lucas and Khalil Dorsey. At free, Marcus Williams. And then we also have Terrell Burgess, who could possibly play a little nickel corner if need be. Strong safety, Julian Blackman. Behind him, Will Parks. At kicker, we do have Matt Gay and Mitch Wisnowski at punter. So all in all, not a very highly rated team, though we do have at least 2 first-round picks, which we might have to actually end up using to trade for some players. Though, speaking of draft picks, trading, and all that, here's at least what we have in store for us for the first draft class, and it's not all too fancy. There are some day 3 guys here at quarterback and running back. There is a mid-round receiver, Niles Terrell, who hopefully ends up being pretty good. He has at least a pretty good size, and we could use some more help at the receiver spot, but do they pan out always in the mid-round picks? Not often, at least here in Madden. There's also another day 3. For the offensive line, really nothing good at all. Defensive line, nothing. You have maybe an edge rusher here in Max Daniels, that right outside linebacker. He could also just be a linebacker. He's a day 3 either way. The only top end talent that we may have is going to be at corner in Jeremy Dennard, round 1 to 2, and we could use someone after our top 2 guys to get to fill in that slot spot. But besides that, this is a really weak draft class. Most of it, I would say about 80% are probably potential undrafteds. Then about, if we go with 80, let's say 17% after that is all day 3. And then the small little bit that's anything higher than the day 3. So I feel like we could definitely use some picks to maybe make some trades. And one guy I would definitely love to trade for, though how likely it's going to be, is Puka Nacua, because he actually has all of the upgrades that he's earned from real life as a rookie here. He's just a normal dev, which doesn't make sense to me, but dude looks phenomenal as he's with the Kansas City Chiefs here. I'm just curious if they're interested in trading at all, and they would want Taron Johnson, so we could do that straight up, or a 2025 second, 6, and 7. Possible for sure, and that is like next year. It's next year, so not the first year, but next year's. Or there is the 2026 second and 2024 fifth, or we give him some of our other best players. So that's definitely not going to happen, but some of these other options seem very intriguing. I would love to get an upgraded Nacua. He would already be higher than what I have with the real Nacua from the start of the Rams franchise. As for any possible offensive linemen, we do obviously have Garrett Bowles, and he is currently the highest rated possible left tackle we could have. There is Joel Bitonio over at left guard, though he's 31 years old, but he's a 90 overall. Currently with the Falcons. If we needed to make a trade there, it's just really not going to happen. And then behind him, We do have the next best guy in Brady Christensen, who is a 73rd, but he's on the younger side, 26, so he could still develop. And unless I miss someone at center, we do have the best available in Tyler Larson. Over at right guard, though, there is 27-year-old Austin Corbett, an 80 overall. He's the highest available, currently on the Jaguars. If we wanted to make a trade for him, again, they're not willing to talk. And then once again, we have the next best guy in Braden Daniels. He's at least a rookie. Hopefully he develops quickly. And copy paste over at right tackle, another rookie in Blake Freeland, highest available. So there's just not a lot of very highly rated offensive linemen, and the ones that are there, they're not willing to trade them. And it's even the same for the defensive line. Again, we have the best available guys, though this time not anyone for us to try to trade for. But let's get into some of our first action today. We're going to watch the Commanders game and then probably skip through the next two, maybe 2 or 3, and then jump into the second half of that week 5 game and then end the first episode there. So with all that said, setting up the whole team is done. It's now time to watch some action. It will be offense out first. I'm very interested to see what side of the ball is the better as the offensive actually loses 1 yard play 1. Try to get Zach Moss down the middle, and there was definitely no room, leaving 2nd and 11. We are using the actual Arizona Cardinals playbook. Feel like that might have fit best as we lose another 2. I was hoping we would be able to spread the ball out, try to get it out quick, and utilize some sort of athleticism to try to make some plays. That's at least how I envision this offense working best, as I think we threw it off the foot and essentially punted it away in one play. Either way, we are going to have to punt. But all in all, that was definitely a rough start here for us. Let's see if the defense can do any better. I believe in the secondary, the linebacker group seems solid as they pick up a nice chunk, 16 yards to the sideline. The group, however, that I'm more concerned about is the defensive line. Pass rush, stopping the run, all in all, the defensive line. As they're going to break off a little bit of a run, break a tackle as well. We'll pick up a gain of 8 with Mostert. I think if we're to do really much of anything this first season, we're going to have to rely on some turnovers being forced with a quick throw to the outside, a sure tackle for number 33, one of the Johnsons. And it will force a 3rd and short. I'll say that was Jalen Johnson. 3rd and inches as they hand it off right down the middle with plenty of running room, easily inside the 30, falling towards the 25. Now we see Mostert running pretty well in real life when given the chances. But I would prefer our defense do a little better here, as it's a dump off the top of the head, and hey, it's not caught by the offensive line. And speaking of offensive line, Taylor Lewan injured on the play. Not sure the severity because we didn't get any animation for it, but 2nd and 10, Kirk Cousins in the pocket. Gonna go to an open receiver, Tyler Boyd sprinting to the end zone. An easy march down the field for the Commanders, and we give up our first touchdown. Oh, we clearly need something big to happen, and there we go. We pick up actual yards finally after I think we lost 4, then we get 4, picking up 5, need 1 more here. And Zach Moss converts with a gain of 3. And it's all Moss so far in this game as we continue just feeding the man here. He's got to have at least 10 carries already. As there we go, getting it to the rookie in Dalton Kincaid. Past the 40, inside the 35. Now Zach Moss once again. 25 yards, N'Keal Harry inside the red zone. I guess going down there finally sparked some life in this offense. We come out with an empty set here at the 9. Huntley to the end zone, and it pops up out of N'Keal Harry's hands and into the defender's hands. Well, that's at least funny. Looks like you're about to get your first touchdown, and no, instead interception and then 21 yards for the Commanders as Mostert gets 5 more as we hit the second quarter. So all in all, not too good of a first half though, or first quarter, though we do get our first sack with Malik Reed. I want to see he's on the younger side, and he double dips with sacks. 4th and 17 will force the punt. Now, can we just finish the drive here? We saw plenty of positivity on that last one. As knocked away by Davis, 3rd and 1, Zach Moss converts. There seems to be some pieces here and there. Harry's actually doing pretty well out there, despite being the one who really had the interception last time. As we have 3rd and 11, a throwaway. Probably should just do whatever they're going to do here, and it's a field goal from Matt Gay, getting us on the board 7-3. We've at least moved the ball offensively. We've given up some yards to Tyler Boyd today, as though he already has a touchdown. Kirk rushes for 7, then a penalty on Barton will give him a free first down. 4 more yards, Raheem Mostert, and then a sack, Cody Barton, right, making up for their penalty earlier. And now 11 yards, 4th and 1. I expect they go for the field goal here. No, they went for it, but the defense holds strong. I was gonna say not quite sure how good this Commanders team is, but if you look at their defense, 3 superstars and 1 X Factor sitting in the box, so they at least have a pretty good defense. And if we could have this offense move at all against at least this front 7, I think we might have a better team than expected. As we go with the stretch, good blocking there, will squeak out the first down, plus the push forward, tacks on a couple extra yards. Zach Moss getting ran a lot, though, in this one. As we come out empty here, got trips up to the bottom, 2 down below. Huntley takes the snap, seeing in the pocket. Waiting, going down to the bottom, and out of bounds. I think we had Dobbs down there. Not sure if it was an intended throwaway or if that was supposed to go to Dobbs and it was just a bad throw. Either way, it's 2nd and 10, setting up a screen. We do get it out. Huntley takes a hit, and we had the cutback underneath the blocks there from Moss. Might have had more. Instead, 3rd and 6 after the gain of 4. With a trip set up top, 1 lone down to the bottom. Will be a pass, sitting in the pocket. Huntley throwing down to the corner, and I think he just missed his guy there. He starts 6 of 12 and will punt once again. And with it being essentially a 2-minute drive here, we will watch on defense as Kirk gonna motion over his receiver to a 2 stack. They're going all the way up top, over the top of the corner, sprinting downfield inside the 40, and they called him down at the 34. Heck of a chunk there. And now really starts the 2-minute, and they're at the 34, so a whole lot less concern for him, though. Kirk misses that one. I believe it was our slot corner that's actually the backup safety in Terrell Burgess, who missed the coverage as they go with their own screen. Mostert gets the first down, then stopped at the 23. Kirk just throwing mostly dimes in this one, 8 of 10. He's missed a couple. As it's 1st and 10, we drop back from the double A gap, and then a throwaway from Kirk, taking the safe option. Still have 1:23 on the clock. Both teams 3 timeouts. Kirk from the pocket once again going down to the bottom, dumping this one off, breaking 1 tackle. Boyd then out of bounds with a gain of 6. If only Boyd did this well for my fantasy team, it would be nice. 3rd and 4. 2 up top, 1 down to the bottom. Kirk from the pocket dumps it off, and holding on to it is their tight end. Evan Ingram with the grab, giving him a 1st and 10 at the 10 with like a hairline prior to the end zone for a first. Back out to Boyd, though he drops that one. Burgess knocks it free. Or actually, check that. I think 29 is Blackman, the free safety. Or is he playing strong safety? I think he's playing strong safety. So just forget everything I said earlier as the sack comes in, 3rd of the day for Malik Reed. At least I sure hope it's Malik Reed. It sounds familiar. 3rd and 16 back at that 16. It's going to be another shotgun look, 2 spread either side. Kirk with a quick throw. He's going to find his target, though not to the end zone, but down to the 3. I assume field goal unit will come out here after a timeout's called. And that is precisely what they do. Calling it with 8 seconds left. It was McCole Hardman who got that previous catch. And they'll tack on 3 more to make it a touchdown game through halftime. So as we get this second half underway, we are down 7 already as Kirk scrambles for 5 yards, then throws to Jalen Waddle, picking up 14. It's a very interestingly built Commanders team, as Mostert picks up 11, in a way kind of built similarly to the Dolphins, though with a different style quarterback for sure. Mostert picks up 8, 3rd and 2, and he picks up another 8 as they're close to the 30, now at the 20, as Waddle grabs it for 12. looking to expand their lead. We do get the knockaway by Jalen Johnson. 4 more yards Mostert, and then a first down. Just let them finish off this drive here with a Mostert touchdown. It is now 16-17 with the point after to 3. So struggling as expected, though we've seen some interesting play from this offense. A lot going through Zach Moss. We've seen Kincaid pop up a good bit as well. Not seeing a whole lot from the receivers as Tim Patrick finally gets a catch here. Gain of 9. Again, we get inside that 20-yard line. We'll jump in as we lose 2. 3rd and 6. Throwaway. Now, I know we could hit the field goal here, but we are down 14 points with 1:24 left here in the 3rd quarter. So let's gonna be aggressive here. Try to find some space here. Huntley is instead just gonna scramble, picking up a bunch of yards down to the 20. You just got to be able to take what the defense gives you, and they gave us a whole lot of yards right down the middle. So we'll jump out here and watch the remainder of this drive. As we go towards the end zone, it's caught by Zach Moss. A really good throw there from Huntley right over the top of the cover man and into the hands of a jumping running back. Skying up for that one and bringing it down, toe taps and all. And who would have thought first touchdown was going to go to a reception by the running back in Zach Moss. If you had that on your bingo card, good for you, as it's 3rd and 1 as we hit the 4th quarter. So that typically means a play did happen, but we don't see it. 3rd and 1, or that time, hey, maybe actually Madden fixed something. They do still get the first down, though, with the gain of 5, 13 more to Mostert. He's definitely been a big guy for him, similar to how we have had Moss, as Waddle gets him inside the red zone. Definitely seems like a lot of passing here for the Commanders offense, though still getting the ball to Mostert through that, as Kirk has a clean pocket here. We'll throw it to the back corner and out of the end zone. Reed once again gets a hit in there late on Kirk. Luckily no flag, but he seems to be doing pretty well out there. Really the only guy along this defensive line who's making a name for himself as they hook up with the tight end down to the bottom. Gain of about 6 leaves 3rd and 4. And it will be from a tight shotgun set. 2 receivers up top, 1 down below. Kirk gonna swing it up top. Mostert, incoming tackler, does well to get the stop. About a gain of 1 as there's Terrell Burgess. And his tackle will force the field goal, which would still make this a 2-score game here, as it is up and through. But with just under 5 minutes left, we need this offense to score quickly if we're to make this thing a game, as we start just underneath the 20. Swinging it out, Kincaid gets the catch, but it's a gain of 2 as time is going to start ticking here. We do still have 3 timeouts, but we're down 2 possessions, so I would prefer not to have to use those on this drive. If Huntley will snap the ball, there we go. From the pocket, rolling down to the bottom, then throws almost to the opposite team. 13 with a good jump there. Will leave us with a 3rd and 8. That we'll take from a tight shotgun look here. Huntley in the pocket, stepping up. He's going to scramble, taking on the linebacker and picking up the first down. Technically, we have ourselves a Pro Bowl quarterback. Not quite sure how he got it, though. With the 1st and 10, here's some play action. Going to dump it back out. Moss trying to turn upfield and will pick up a few yards, though. Was hoping he would get out of bounds. As we're at about 3.5 minute mark. Still have those 3 timeouts. A bunch up top. Huntley from the pocket. Gonna step up, try to avoid the rush and get it out to Moss, who picks up the first down to the 44. Though we're still taking a lot of time off the clock here, near 2 minutes, and we've just moved the ball about 25 yards. As Huntley, trying to buy some more time, dumps it off, a gain of 2. Can't really afford too much more of that, as we have 2 spread either side here. Huntley, waiting, going down to the bottom, just not quite accurate enough. Misses his target, leaves 3rd and 8. With 2 up top, got 1 down to the bottom in a tight set. Will be another throw. Huntley from the pocket trying to scramble, but the ball comes loose and scooped up by the Commanders. That will probably just about do it for us here. Unless this defense can force a quick turnover, scoop and score, pick 6, something along those lines. Doubt we're going to do much here, as we do hit the 2-minute warning. 4th and 5. They hit a field goal to make it a 13-point game. We'll see if we score within about 30 seconds here, as it's a throwaway play 1. Then a sack by Rasheem Green leaves 3rd and 19, which we gain 9 back. 4th and 10, a throwaway will do it for us in game 1. There was some intriguing play. It seems like Zach Moss is the MVP of this offense for sure. Defense, I would say it's Reed. Those two had an impressive game, but everyone else kind of lackluster, unfortunately, as expected. Now in the next couple games, we would see some consistency from this team, though it's just not a good consistency, as we would lose back-to-back games, Giants and Cowboys, both of them 28-7, meaning we've only scored 14 points in the last 2 games. We gave up 17 points in the second quarter here to the Giants, giving up nearly 400 yards. We would go over 300 ourselves, though that's nothing fantastic. And Huntley in this one, 4 interceptions, 1 touchdown, really bad, 54% completion, though he wasn't sacked at all, so there's that. Pollard, we gave up about 4 yards, a rush, and a touchdown. Chuba Hubbard, 4.5 yards and a touchdown, though we did force a fumble on him. Meanwhile, Moss, just 7 carries, so completely different to the previous game, that one that we just watched, though he still averaged 3.5 yards, a little over that. We gave up another touchdown to Tank Bigsby as well, so we were just struggling in run defense, it seems like. As for receiving wise, Tim Patrick had a pretty good game, 5 catches, 92 yards. Dobbs had a touchdown on 74 yards, so we're at least getting something going there. And defensively, did we see some sacks at least? 1.5 for Barton, another half a sack for Reed. So Reed is getting going pretty early on here. And we did throw interceptions to Stephon Gilmore, Tyrann Mathieu, Caden Stearns, and Hassan Reddick. So at least 2 good cover guys. I feel like he's more of a low-tier starter, maybe back in Caden Stearns. And then Hassan Reddick, a good edge rusher, but probably shouldn't be throwing interceptions to edge rushers. As for kicking, though, we did hit our 1 of 1 extra points, but did not attempt a single field goal. In the Cowboys game, we were actually doing really well up till the 4th quarter, where we gave up 21 points. That's not very good. Defense seemed to be doing well until that point, or maybe turnovers became a problem. We did have another 4 in this one, because the Cowboys were under 300 yards offensively. Meanwhile, we were close to 350. And it was another 4 interception day for Tyler Huntley. No touchdowns for him. He was sacked 3 times and completed only 52% of his throws. As for the running, Spears averaged about 4 yards per rush, Zach Moss 3, so a little bit of a step down from the previous game, though did have a touchdown. We also gave up a rushing touchdown to Cordarrelle Patterson. Receiving wise, Tim Patrick, again, pretty solid up there. Harry had a good game. They didn't really have a top end receiver. The corners and the safeties did pretty well for us, though we did give up some touchdowns. It looked like some short gains, some short touchdowns, probably some interceptions, quick on-in drives. Gabe Davis, Tutu Atwell, and Tajay Spears. As for the sacks given up, it was spread out, 1 for Bowles, 1 for Christensen, and 1 for Freeland. Defensively, sacks, do we see any more from Reed? Another 1 from Reed. Though we did also give up a sack to Max Crosby, Jeffrey Simmons, and Malik Collins. So all in all, to some at least solid guys, if not really good guys. Mostly talking about Malik Collins. Not sure what his ratings are, but Jeffrey Simmons and Crosby, they definitely get the job done. The interceptions, though, went to Levi Wallace, Sean Murphy-Bunting, Matt Milano, and Geno Stone. So I wouldn't say any top-tier guys outside of Milano. So again, just sloppy play that we're really seeing from Tyler Huntley. Our other quarterback option is Nick Foles, and I need to check what his ratings are. So let's at least do that together before we make any possible changes at quarterback. Tyler Huntley compared to Foles, 68 compared to 69. Throw power is the same. Short accuracy is about the same with medium, now about the same. Same for deep. Deep is actually a little bit better with Nick Foles, so I think it's time we put in Nick Foles and maybe have to even change the offensive playbook with that, because I do not want Nick Foles running at all. So what are our other options at quarterback? Well, on the practice squad, we do have a couple young guys. We have Jaron Hall, rookie, and then a second-year player in Carson Strong. Jaron Hall, his accuracies are honestly fairly close to that of what we saw with Tyler Huntley. He's still going to have the speed category to his game, so we wouldn't have to change the offense. We just have a dramatic lack of awareness and not much throw power, but that's something we might need to consider next time. I'm not going to make any changes here early on. Let's jump into this next game, our first divisional match against the San Francisco 49ers. Let's get into the second half and see where we're at. Now the 49ers are 2-1, and they start this game off with a touchdown, and we'll tack on a second to end the first quarter. We had a drive that looked like it ended pretty abruptly. Though we do score a touchdown, but then give up another one. A little bit of back and forth and another touchdown, but hey, there we go. We had another one. So we keep it a 2-score game here, 28-14 at halftime. How do we do through the third quarter? March down the field, tack on another touchdown for us, and as we enter the fourth quarter, it's a 1-score game. So let's slow things down a little bit here, as we are in plus territory, I believe. Yes, we are. Moving towards the end zone, we get a gain of 6, leaving 3rd and 4, and it's an interception going to Daxton Hill. Feel like the interception's not solving themselves by any means. As it's 3rd and inches, Kenneth Walker III picks it up. Looks like this might be a fun, at least looking from what I've seen so far for the 49ers team. As Robert Woods pops off 22 yards, looks like they might be tacking on another touchdown here. They're inside the 15, inside the 10, 1st and goal, 1 yard gained at the 6, then a throwaway, leaving 3rd and goal, and they only gain 5. Do they go for it? They do, and CJ Ham with the touchdown. Well, can we answer back quickly at all? Down 2 possessions here, we get a gain of 5, then a knockaway. 3rd and 5, we pick up 6 Tim Patrick, but we need this to be a lot quicker here. 2 1-yard gains, not going to help out. At least we convert on 3rd. 4 yards to Kill Harry. We're at about the 2-minute warning here. 3rd and 6, we pick up 6, just enough for the first down, and now inside the 2-minute warning. Can we find our way down the field any quicker here? We at least are picking up first downs, knocked away. Then a penalty backing us up. 2nd and 15, we get 7. 3rd and 8, we throw away. Needing to pick up 8 yards here. It's 4th and game, although we might already kind of be past that game mark. As we're just going to have to get this one out. It's to Kincaid, breaks one, trucks through another, stiff arm, no, but we're down to the 12. Get back to the ball as quickly as possible here. Need to find some spot to get this. Harry to the outside might be interesting, though they look like they're covering that pretty well, and get sacked. Call a timeout there, 30 seconds left. Obviously, we're in too much of a hurry up there to really appreciate the play we just saw from Kincaid, but massive props there. As he's coming across, Huntley fumbles it as he gets hit from behind, and the 49ers seal their 2-score win. Huntley has not been very impressive with his time as the starter. We've already seen a lot of turnovers. Potentially we need to give it to one of the young practice squad quarterbacks, give it to Nick Foles, or maybe even make a trade for one of the other possible young quarterback options we have. But that is where we're going to leave this one off. The Southwest Challenge has started 0-4, which means you can really only go up from here or stay at the same level. Definitely we need to make some trades, try to bring in some different guys to make things a little bit more competitive. I would love to bring in Nakua. Might need to bring in another quarterback. I know there's Jordan Love, Zach Wilson. All those options, are they going to be better than what we've seen from Huntley? Who knows? But there are only options for at least the first 2 seasons, because we already know there's not really a starting caliber quarterback, at least, in this upcoming draft class. So next time out, we will finish off season 1. We have until the end of season 5 to complete this challenge with that Super Bowl win. And it seems like there's going to be a lot of work needed. There's some good spots. There's some receivers who we could definitely grow with. We could add in some more to that group. Moss has started off pretty well as well. He was really seemed like the primary guy for us in that first game. As for the defense, we have some solid safeties. We have some good corners we could maybe use with a nickel corner. Some solid middle linebackers to help grow throughout the team. We have some guys, but we just have to fill out the rest of the team. So let me know other guys that may not be on this team right now that you would like to see on this team. Again, have to be from a school that was either in Arizona, New Mexico, Hawaii, Nevada. I think there's another one that I'm not quite remembering. Southwest states plus Hawaii. So make sure you guys are hitting that bell icon in the bottom right or scrolling down and hitting the actual subscription button. And definitely make sure you tap that bell icon so you're notified of when these videos go live. This series will be every single Wednesday and Saturday with our traditional Rams franchise every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. So you guys got a whole lot of content coming every single week, so do not miss out. And we'll see you guys next time for hopefully some slightly improved play with this squad. But until then, we'll see you then. Bye.
How it's supposed to